Okay, so we are going to open up. This is going to be for Planning Center. This is creating a template or creating a service if you don't have one on there. So we're going to go to our browser, go Planning Center, and then right here you can kind of see it says add a plan. So we're going to show you how to add a plan. So it's very simple. So we're going to add plan. Okay, so we're gonna go, so you have April 1st. So April 8th, we're only adding one. So you can add 10 different services or whatever, 10 different, and then it'll show you all the ones that you can add. But we're just gonna go ahead and add one. And then it shows you the one that we're gonna add. So that's April 8th. And then you can go on there, I want a default template, and that's perfect, okay? So again, that's all I did is I went to add a plan. I just want to make sure the date is correct. So always make sure it's the actual date. So it should already just copy it from the next week, and so it's going to always schedule a week in advance. And so again, this is April 1st. That's a Sunday, and then this April 8th, that would be the following Sunday. So you just go ahead and add. Okay, and so then it's going to take you right into here. And then if you notice, there is no songs, but this is a template that was already created. So this is how you add a service. So now, if you wanted to add a song, you can. And I'm going to show you what adding a header looks like. So if you add a header, you just type in, I'm just going to put test, so you can see what that does. This is going to add like a little gray area, so you kind of see where it's announcement video. This is just really, I mean, it is what it's doing. It's adding a header. So you have that. So we're going to put test down here. Well, actually, we'll just say right here. So now I can add, so let's just say I want to add something in. So if you kind of see right here, where there's countdown, 5 minutes, Chris welcome, that those aren't songs. That's just you're adding a I'll show you, you're just adding an item. So what you're going to do here is add an item. So I'm going to put test, okay, and then you always want to put the time if there is a time. So we'll just pretend that this test is maybe like a host or something. So we'll actually put host, and for the host they're going to talk 3 minutes, okay, and then you can actually just descriptive out, talk about dot 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 dot. Okay, so this just kind of, you'll see where this gets put at. You don't need to worry about linking a song or linking media. Just the host, their what the time is, the item description, and I'll show you. So when you do that, immediately it's going to put it right under. And so now if you notice, it's popped up to 45 minutes and 30 seconds because we added 3 minutes to the whole time. So if I go into here and I take out that, it went to 0, so now it's 42:30. So you kind of get the idea. So that's how you create headers, and that's how you create just the item description, the add an item. So it's pretty simple. So that's once you go into the service that you made, if you see something that there's needed to add. So even after the pre-message worship, so announcement video, you got the bumper, you got that. And so for some reason, if let's just say he wanted to do offering after the post-message worship, before the blessing, you would add a header, title it offering. Then on this little green little tab that has the plus sign, then you would add a description, a little item there, and you can do that. And so it's pretty simple. That's how you do that. So now let's talk about, so I'm going to go ahead and delete that. We don't need that anymore. Okay, so now how do we edit times? How do we add times? Super simple. And how do we schedule people? So if you got your notepad, your pin out, and you can follow along in how we create this whole set. So up here you kind of see some times. It gives you an option to add a time. So let's just say so let's just say I want to put a rehearsal time in. You can put a rehearsal time in, and we're going to put it for let's just say 6:45 a.m. to, let's just say we want to go to 7:30. And then always make sure this says A. A is for AM, P is for PM. So there you go. So you can put rehearsal, and then you can just label it again. Oops. And then there you go. So you got, make sure the date is current. Make sure you know your times. Title it and make sure it's under the rehearsal time if you're going to add a rehearsal. So I'll show you what happens. So now we added a rehearsal time. So let's just say we're going to add another service. So here we go. So we're going to add it from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. So I'm going to add that, take that out. So now it's 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. and so you have that. And then you can even title it fourth service if you wanted, or you can not title it at all. I'm going to do that just so you can see the differentiating item within that. So you don't have to worry about band, any of that. That's only if you want to send out a reminder, and it shows you this. Reminders go out at 10 a.m. Well, that's great, but if you notice, our first service is at 8 a.m. Our rehearsals at 6:45 a.m. So this 10 a.m. reminder would not do us any good. So you can actually do it the day of, one day before. I do no reminder because then what happens is you start blowing people's email up. And I've just found out that people just don't like that, having tons of email reminders. And so most of the time they know when they're scheduled, they know when they need to be there. So we're going to go ahead and accept. We added a fourth service. And so now you see it. So it says fourth service, it's 1 p.m. And if you were to click on that, this pops up again. So super, super simple. I'm going to take that out because we don't need that. So now you know how to add times. It's perfect. Okay. So now we're going to go to, let's just say this message is, let's just see if we have something. Let's just say we're doing arrows. But actually, I'm going to create a whole new one. So we're going to do test. Okay. And there's not one. So you see this is kind of stuff that we've done. So I'm doing test. I'm going to add an art to it. And you can do this if you want or if you don't want. All this does is allows you to just have a picture so that people can see it. And we're going to see if we can just find something real quick. Okay, so we're just going to throw this in there. Okay, just nothing. Actually, let's throw a JPEG. We're just going to throw this one. Actually, here we go. Let me redo that. Or I'm just gonna throw a JPEG in. I want to make sure that it's JPEG. So I'm just gonna throw this in. Okay, so you just pick your thumbnail that you want to use. So you can see it. So I'll push accept. JPEGs are gonna be the file format that you want to put if you're gonna put a picture there. So now you see it there. Now it says test, and so we could actually do week 1. So that's week 1 of this service if we were to do that. So now you've added your title, and so I'll kind of show you. So if you go back to plans, so if you look down here now, you kind of see this, you see your icon, and so it just kind of helps break things up as you know the title if you have the artwork or whatnot. And so then it also shows you the week, so the title and whatnot. So it's super cool. So let's go ahead and click back into that. We're going to go and schedule people. And I'm going to schedule myself so that tons of people don't get tons of invites and whatnot. Okay, so I'm going to add so right now you only see the categories of worship production, speaker, teacher. So we need to add a band. Okay, so I'm going to schedule any person. So again, so I found this right here under Teams, add people, schedule any person. And then I'm going to type in my name, Chris, and then there you go, I found it. So we're going to put under band, you kind of see there's the different categories, worship, production, children's. Now make sure this always says band or worship team. It'll either give you the option, either band or worship team. So I'm going to put myself in as worship leader. You can put notes if you want to. I don't. I just go ahead and put worship leader. So it replies to me. Or you can put all team leaders. But for me, that's going to be good. And so if you're the one scheduling people, it'll give your name as an option instead of mine. And that way, so if they confirm or decline, you know right away as soon as they do. And so this kind of just shows where it's at. You're preparing it and sent, read, and then response. So pretty cool. So okay, now I'm going to add a worship leader. Okay, and then I'm going to add a drummer. So I'm going to add my name again. And it's important you know your team, you know what instruments they play. But as you can see, there's some preset names in here, so you just click drums. Super simple. And then you just repeat the process till you've completed your roster of who you're going to want. And so I'm going to do a bass player. Okay, so, and then let me add acoustic. And then we're going to say that's our band. So we have acoustic, bass, and drums. It's great. So now let's just say we want to add in a cello. Okay, so I'll show you what I'm talking about. So if I'm under band, and if I go into worship leader, now I have some pre-selected ones. So now there's strings, there's keys, electric 1, 2, and 3. But I want to be specific, and I want to say I want a cello, or I want a student singer, or I want a xylophone. So this is how you do it. So you can just highlight this under position, type in cello, and I think that's how you spell it. So now I've created my own category, and you'll see this conflict. This is just showing everything that this person is involved with, either on that team or somewhere on that Sunday morning. So it'll show you there under the conflicts. There's band worship leader, band drums, band bass, and you see that right over here. Shows you the conflicts. And so as you push save, there you go. So now if you look over here, cello. Now if you have drums, you have bass, you have acoustic. Okay, so now you have your band. Now I want to, if I know the songs I'm doing, if I know the keys that I want to do, I go and add my song. And so remember, I showed you earlier how to add a song, so we're just going to add some quick ones. Add a fast one. Oops, sorry. So as you can see, this song has tons of description. You can just hover over it, click it, and because we don't really use this anymore, you just delete it, and then now you're good. And you can actually hover just over something else. So there you go. So now they took out the whole description. You have tons of room. So now you're good. So let's go ahead and we're gonna move this song over. So all you do is just left click, hover it. So let's add a song to the end. So let's just go ahead and add this one. And again, there's only one worship leader, so let's do that. And so remember, you want to know exact times. So let's just say this one is 6 minutes. Okay. So now you want to put this after post message worship. So now you're good. So now you have 2 songs in the front, you're fast, you're slow, and you have Behold. And then you can go in, and then as we showed you earlier in the other demo, how to resource your team. You can do that as you've added the song. You always want to check just to make sure the songs are updated. So now you have your 2 songs up front, your song at the end. Now let's just say the speaker is saying, hey, I just want to do just piano at the end, or as we would call it, color. I'm going to delete that, and I'm going to add a song. You ready? And then I'm just going to type in color, and I've kind of created this to where, let's just say Chris Keys. It'll be fine. So I just put that in, put 0 because it's going to be in the message. So now we have 51 minutes, 54 seconds. So as you're seeing, okay, well, we can add another song. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's go and do this. B flat. Very cool. So we're going to add that right up to the front. And then it would be up to you if you want to try to get all these songs in the same key. That all depends on you. But now we're at 57 minutes, 49 seconds. That's fine. It's closer to 60, so now we're good. So you got your 3 songs, you got your color, you've scheduled your team, you've labeled, you've given it a name, you've said what week it is, you've put your art if you wanted to do that. This is all optional. You don't have to do this. Then you've added a rehearsal time. This is good to know because then when they do look at it, it reminds them of what time rehearsal actually starts. You could even do, so let's do add a time. So this one's going to be other, and we'll call this setup or instrument setup. Let's do that. Or gear setup. So we're going to do gear setup. We're going to say from 6:30 a.m. to 6:45 a.m. is gear setup. And I'm going to show you where that pops up. So now you have a whole nother category of other times gear setup, and you have rehearsal time, and then you have your service times. And so once you're ready, you got your songs, you got your team. Sometimes you'll schedule teams without having songs, and that's totally okay. So you could just skip this process, and you can do your this, and then check the times. And so once you feel good with that, you're going to push email. So this is how you're going to send the invites. So that's good. So prepare notifications. You want to do that. If I were to do all scheduled people, then that's going to just, it doesn't matter if they confirmed or unconfirmed. You just want to do prepared notification. Okay? This is all, I use this when I'm scheduling people, and I use all scheduled people when I want to communicate to teams. And so, again, we're just scheduling someone. So there you go. You got the service times, and you want to make sure unconfirmed to confirmed. Perfect. Your band, if you have more people scheduled in worship production or speaker and teacher, those options will come up too. So it'll say worship production, it'll say speaker and teacher. So let's go ahead and send an invite. So up here, it's going to say April 8th, 2018 request. You can add something else to it if you wanted to. Just to say request for Sunday morning, you could put that. Just so that it's whatever you wanted to do. Then on here, I really never mess with this because this is just a default template. And so this is the Planning Center scheduling email template. You can add something to the bottom if you wanted, just to give it personalized. You could do that, but most of the time I just schedule my people and then I send it out. And so all you do after you've read it, if you've edited that and not or whatever, and so then up here it's going to show you. So if I had multiple people on the team, different names, so if I had like Nick and Chloe or Kylie or any other team, then their name would be up here as well. And so you can see everyone that you've scheduled. And so it's pretty cool. So now we're going to send that. Send it. Message sent to one person. So if you notice now, before there were little envelopes that were off to the side right here. And they are no longer there because they have been emailed. And so once people do confirm, I'll show you what it's going to look like. It's going to go green, green, and so this would be in the case that they read their email and they confirmed. So I'm going to refresh this. So now if you notice, they're all green, which means they confirmed. Very cool. So now if I have an update that I want to send the worship team, maybe it's a key change, maybe it's a song change, I'm going to go into email, all scheduled people. It's already ready because now there's no longer anything to prepare. It'll go to prepare notifications if someone else, if another administrator put scheduled people here, just haven't sent out the invites yet, it'll automatically go that. So remember, when you're wanting to just send a personalized message to your team, an update or something like that, make sure it says all scheduled people, unconfirmed and confirmed. You can keep those clicked, you banned and whatnot. And so when you go to here, it's going to be April 18th, 2018 update. And so then here is where you would send out whatever you wanted to type. You're letting people know that the songs have been changed, or maybe the keys have changed, or maybe we've added a song. Okay, so again, you'll see all the people that you've scheduled, all the people that the email is being sent to, and then you should be good. So you don't have to worry about this Planning Center email. That's totally fine. So, and then you can look at templates if you want. But I don't really mess with all that. So this is what I'm gonna do. 18 update, Planning Center scheduling email, perfect, sent. Now you've just updated your team with whatever information you want to update them with. So there you go. There you have it. You are now able to create a service. You're able to add a service. You're able to schedule your people. You're able to edit times, make a title, make whatever you want, and it is all ready to go. So now when you go back to here, you are good. So April 8th, 2018, you have completed and scheduled a service. So thank you for watching. In our next video, I'm going to show you how to create files and folders over here. Thank you so much.